What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Missing Piece. And today we are previewing the co-main event between Tuivasa and Alexander Volkov, and of course the main event between Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland as UFC 293 takes place in Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, then the first one is Tuivasa and Alexander Volkov in a big heavyweight bout. Uh, Never matched up before. Number 6 and number 7. Uh, and I think this is just going to be a swing fest.
Yeah, I'd expect that as well. I think obviously, as you always get from heavyweights, they're gonna stand and bang, especially from Tuivasa. He's known for just
And the shoe.
swinging and and the shoe if he
Yeah,
wins. But with Volkov, on the other hand, obviously he's 6'7",
beast.
so he's gonna have the length on him. He's gonna control. Well, if I was him, I would obviously control the distance with that reach and the
Mm.
height. So looking especially looking at the tail tape, um, Volkov should manage the distance, and Tuivasa should close and get on the inside and just rain his shots, get the hooks in, close the distance up, and obviously weigh down Volkov.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Tuivasa has a 93% knockout rate. So he pretty much wins by only knockout or decision. I think he's not
Yeah,
really a distance fighter. I'll probably say he's more of a early round winner. Mm,
yeah. I think he's always looking for the knockout, as you
mm.
said. The 93%. Um, what do you call it? Is it knockdown rate or
Yeah,
knockout rate?
knockout KO and TKO percentage is 93%.
Yeah,
He has zero submissions because he has zero takedown attempts or takedown attempts average every 15 minutes.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, he's always looking
Mm.
for the knockout. But looking at his previous opponents, um, obviously he's fought Sergey Pavlovich, obviously I think, who is going to be the backup
Mm.
for the John Jones Stipe fight. But besides that, his wins in his last few fights,
There it
obviously he
goes.
beat Derek Lewis by KO. He beat Augustus
KO.
Sakai, Greg Hardy, and obviously beyond that he beat other two people in the KO via KO and TKO. So obviously he's always looking for the knockout, and those two losses that he got previously were against the top contenders. So I don't obviously
Yeah, he got
he's
knocked out by Cyril
going
Gane
to
in the third round.
yeah
Then lost to Sergey
Sergey.
Pavlovich in the Thompson Holland
Yeah,
fight. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think he just needs to learn how to fight differently because I think once he gets to the top, they fight differently with the ground game and stuff. Like I think knockout
yeah,
will get you so far in heavyweights in it until you start have to
exactly. Yeah,
actually learn how to defend the ground, which is how quickly John Jones beat Cyril Gane. Like John Jones is different, like
yeah,
different kettle of fish, but the way he just took him down and just submitted him was just crazy, unbelievable.
yeah. That's a perfect example. Obviously, looking at these next
Mm-hmm.
generation heavyweights like Cyril Gane, Thomas
Mm-hmm.
Spinell, even Sergey, I would say there as well. Obviously they light on their feet. Obviously, this is excluding Sergey. Sergey is more like I would say he's more like Tuivasa, but he's more
Mm-hmm.
calculated. Obviously, that's why I believe he's number one or number two ranked currently. Maybe Cyril Gane is probably number one after obviously UFC Paris
Mm-hmm.
victory. But um, yeah, looking at Tuivasa, I think he obviously is gonna just get the. If he's gonna win the fight, I think the only way that he probably would win the fight would probably be KO or TKO. But then again, obviously he is on home ground, so he's on
Mm-hmm.
Australia, so the crowd could be an
Mm-hmm.
advantage. But with Volkov, looking at his last opponents, he beat Alexander Romanov by
Mm-hmm.
KO, and obviously he beat Jairzinho Rosenstrike by KO as well. So he does have that KO, the knockout in him. But against Tuivasa, he might have to enforce a different game plan because Tuivasa will be in his face, so he has to use his footwork and just get out of the range and just pop his jab out and maybe wear him down, but I think Tuivasa would probably wear him down more. So it's a very hard fight to call, but in terms of um, keys to victory, Tuivasa stand and bang, wear him down, get on the inside. Volkov maintain the distance. But for prediction from myself, I would probably say Tuivasa by KO, maybe round two or round three.
Hmm.
So, and that's not obviously the home crowd would be a big advantage for him.
I think someone's gonna get knocked out. I don't know who's gonna get knocked out. Um, if it's see, I don't know. Two of us is coming off back-to-back losses. It's my only thing. And Volkov is coming off wins. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
I don't want two of us to rush in and try and force himself to get a knockout, especially him being home, because he's gonna be
yeah,
like, I want to put a show on for the fans and etc. etc. But yeah, I'll go with Tuivasa, but I wouldn't be surprised if Volkov wins.
yeah. Well, do you have a? Obviously, you said
I'll
Tuivasa,
say Tuivasa by knockout
but
because I don't see him taking him down and submitting
yeah,
him. But you know, my like watch him end up taking him down and submitting him.
no. I think in terms of taking them down, I think the first, if there are any grappling exchanges or wrestling exchanges, I think Volkov would probably initiate that first because I think Tuivasa probably wouldn't entertain that. I think he's gonna give a what do you call like exciting, entertaining
Mm-hmm.
fight for the Australian crowd. So yeah, as I said, I think Tuivasa by KO, and your prediction is also the
Tuivasa
same,
by
yeah.
KO, but I wouldn't be surprised if he also
Yeah,
gets KO'd himself.
yeah,
Yeah,
especially
bro,
with
they
heavyweights,
just
never
swing,
know.
man.
One one punch and it's all
Literally.
over. All right, yeah. So we've got the same prediction for the co-main event, but when it comes to the main
Mm.
event, that's the big one. In my eyes, I think a lot of people would argue with that with this. What I'm going to say, obviously, I'm just letting you know that is it. Adesanya is my
Mm.
favorite fighter. So, in my opinion, he is the middleweight goat.
He's a middleweight
So,
goat.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
in my eyes, yeah. And obviously, people are going to say Anderson Silva and stuff, but I think Adesanya has, I think most likely has surpassed him
Mm.
because he's cleaning out the division and he's relapping them. Obviously, he's got this opponent in Strickland, but um, obviously he was meant to be fighting the South African Dricus Du Plessis, but I think he's injured, or he supposedly says he's injured. But that's another story because them two could fight later down the line. But in terms of Sean Strickland, um, all I'm saying that he's a
I
madman.
mean, I think with
That's it.
the Duplessis, I don't know how to say his name, something like that. The other African. Um,
Yeah.
uh, I think he should. I think he's next if Israel wins. Um,
But speaking of that, during the media day, Izzy was like that if Dricus is supposedly injured and he's waiting out for the winner of this weekend's fight, doesn't mean automatically he gets the next title shot because next month there is Hamzat versus Paulo Costa. So Izzy did say that, oh yeah, if he when he if he does win this weekend, which I think he
mhm.
will, um, Izzy will be like, oh yeah, let the Hamzat versus Paulo Costa fight play out, and
I
whoever
don't
wins
want
that,
to see
they could get
Paolo
the next title
versus
shot.
Israel Adesanya again, bro. There's nothing entertaining about that fight. You know what I mean?
I think Hamzat, but obviously we're gonna preview that pay per view next month during fight week, but let's preview this main event. So obviously Izzy is my favorite fighter. I say he's a
Mm.
middleweight goal. But in terms
He's
of
getting up there.
keys to victory
I
for
think
Izzy,
very soon
yeah,
people will class him as one of the goats in the whole sport if he keeps winning like this.
yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
exactly, yeah, um, yeah. So keys to victory for Izzy.
He can do
Um,
whatever he wants. He can take him down. He can beat him up. I think literally, this depends on how he wants to do it. If he wants to just like submit him, then he can. If he wants to knock him out, he probably can. I think Sean Strickland though, his game plan is probably going to be. I think he could be very similar, but we know him as a madman. So he's definitely going to go for the knockout.
I think he's associated as a man with the way he speaks and the way he portrays
Yeah,
himself.
I think he's a
But
clever fighter.
um, yeah, especially in this fight, he has to be a clever fighter. You can't just
Mm,
rush in, especially the way he rushed in against Alex Pereira, and you see what
mm,
happened there. The left hook from obviously Pereira, which obviously he's known for, slept Strickland, so he can't do that against Adesanya. So um, for
mm,
Strickland, I think I wouldn't say he's known for it, but he can initiate his
mm.
wrestling game because obviously if he does take Izzy down, and obviously Izzy is I think his takedown defense is not the best.
He's not the
So
best, but he knows how to defend
especially
himself on the back in it. It's one of them ones
yeah,
where.
obviously he had to train for that obviously, especially because he's the
Mhm,
best fighter in the division. Obviously, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, that's his weak game. You
mhm,
take him down, but obviously Izzy needs to train that, which he has. But um, yeah, so Sean, if he wants to
mhm,
win, I think he might need to use his takedowns. And looking at the
mhm.
stats leading up to this fight, is Sean's takedown accuracy is 64%, and Izzy's takedown defense is 77%.
Yeah,
So they do counter each other very well. But Sean, I think if he wants to win, he has to take him down. And obviously, he's a Brazilian. No, sorry, he's a black belt in
he's a
Brazilian
Brazilian.
Jiu-Jitsu. So if he does take
Yeah,
him down, Sean can potentially wear him down and maybe get the submission. But whereas for Izzy, what do you think his keys to
I
victory
think
are?
his key to victories are being careful of those big, powerful punches that Sean's going to come with. I
Yeah,
think apart from that, I think he can set him up however he wants to set him up. Do you know what I mean? I think if he wants him to hit him with a combo, he'll do it. If he wants to hit him with just straight hooks and leg kicks, he'll do it. Like I think for him, he can do it however he wants.
yeah. I think I wouldn't say it's his fight to lose because it's a fist
I
fight at
think
the
it
end
is
of the
his
day.
fight to lose. I'd say that
But
only because everyone knows Israel's going to go into this fight and win. Like it's. I don't think a lot of people are entertaining the idea that Sean wins. But obviously, like I said, it's a fist fight. Anything can happen. But I think going
yeah,
into this fight, if Israel beats Sean, I think, and then he goes on and probably beats, if he beats Hamza Chimaev and stuff like that, then he's won the whole division. So I think he can see the peak of the mountain. So I think it's his fight to lose.
yeah. Yeah, I think with Izzy, I think if he wants to hear and still and retain his
Mm,
title, I think um, obviously he needs to keep it long. He's got the 3 inch height advantage, and he's got the 4 inch
mm,
reach advantage. So he's going to use his jab, pick him off. But um, what do you call it? Obviously, Izzy's going to use his full array of striking, so his jabs,
mm,
hooks, straight hands, his
mm,
feet, his leg kicks. So, and if Sean just, as I think is as he said yesterday during the media day, Sean's last
mm,
two wins against um, Magomedov and Nazarene Imavov, them two. She just said to them, said that his last two opponents were just human
mm,
punching bags. But Sean is also capable of just standing there as well, especially with whereas Izzy's going to move left and right. He's not going to be center of the octagon and just picking
mm,
shots off. He's going to move left and right, go
mm,
into the center, maybe get his back against the cage, and just swivel left and right. So Sean can't just walk up to him and just stay
mm,
still because Izzy would just pick him off, and it could be easy KO, TKO for
mm,
Izzy, or it could just be a 5 round domination. It could be a 50-45, maybe even 50-44 if Sean's just going to walk him down.
mm,
So that's not a good game plan from Sean. But
mm,
Izzy um, just needs to keep it long, keep it careful, and because if Sean lands
mm,
something, Izzy, especially when he got knocked out against Alex Pereira, and Izzy's back was against the cage, Izzy looked like he was playing possum. Like I was like, oh yeah, he's landing on me, but I'm not giving any hints away to the referee or to the fans saying that, oh yeah, I'm clearly out
mm.
here. But if Izzy's in that situation again, you never know. The referee's seen it against Alex Pereira. If he sees it again in this
Yeah,
fight, the referee could step in and be like, oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he was playing possum against Pereira. I think he definitely was hurt, um, and tried his best to block the shots.
Yeah, in the
Yeah, yeah.
first
Like
one,
I don't
yeah,
think, uh, not trying to take any credit away from Alex, um, but this is what I mean. Like with Israel has cleaned the division out. He beat Pereira. He beat Jared Cannonier, Whitaker, Vittori, Costa, Romero, Kevin Gastelum, Anderson Silva, Brunson, so on and so forth. Obviously, he only has
yep.
the other loss to Jan Blachowicz, which is obviously in a different weight class. So that's a separate thing
Yeah,
in the entirety. But literally, he's beat everyone. So yeah, I think if he beats Sean Strickland, then goes on to fight Khamzat Chimaev and will beat Khamzat Chimaev in the middleweight, then I don't think what's left. I don't think there's anything left for him in the middleweight. I think it might be time for him to actually go up and go fight in the light heavyweight.
yeah, like he did against Jan. But yeah, for this fight, obviously, I think my
Mm.
prediction is obviously going to be Izzy. Um, KO,
Mm-hmm.
KO. If I think if it's on the feet, Izzy picks him off and it probably eventually gets a KO or TKO, maybe round two or
Mm.
round three. But Izzy has been speaking of potentially showcasing his
Mm-hmm.
grappling. So another outlandish
Mm.
prediction would probably be a submission. I don't know which type of
Mm.
submission, but I would say a submission maybe round three or round four. So if it's a KO, it's going to be before the championship rounds, and if it's a
It'll
submission,
be in the championship round.
it's probably going to be round three or round four. So that's my two predictions in favor of Izzy still retaining his
I think
championship.
if it's, I think is my my mind tells me is he's gonna win on paper. He's the better fighter, no disputing
Mm.
that, and that he's gonna knock him out. But anything can happen, you know. And like we said, Izzy has never submitted anyone. He's
Yeah,
never had the pressure on the floor, and Sean has. So I think that if he goes to the ground and then Sean's on top of him in the later rounds when they're both tired, not at the start, I think in the fourth and fifth round, if they're tired and they end up getting onto the floor, I think Sean can win in that sense.
yeah. If
Sean's on
Sean's on
top
top, then
and they're
yeah, yeah,
both towards the end, and they're getting a bit more sluggish and the mistakes start to creep in. Then Sean's obviously going to win. But in general, the fight's just going to go to Israel Adesanya, and still, there's nothing new.
we're gonna and still
Hmm.
let's go. Yeah,
But yeah, that's my prediction for that fight.
yeah. So yeah, I think both of our predictions are leading to a KO, and obviously my outlandish prediction is probably a submission, but that's gonna happen. So yeah, Izzy winning by
Hmm.
KO slash TKO are our both predictions for the main event. So yeah, that
Hmm.
is the preview and also our predictions for the co-main event and main event for UFC 293, which is being held at in Sydney, Australia. So we'll we'll review the co-main
Very
and
well.
main event and break them down once the fights are all over. So we'll catch you guys for the preview, or the review and the
Yes,
breakdown.
sir.
Um, so yeah, enjoy the fights.
See ya.